Wilson Morales from Black Women TV. It's good to see the parents again. How's it going, folks?
Okay, how you doing?
Good, good, good. Obviously, the rock of this series is what happens with the family, where events lead to other events. So what are we getting this year from Charles and his wife slash mother slash whatever's going on over there? Russell?
We're getting a change of pace this season. I think that what we're really seeing is how the money, both the abundance of it and lack of it, has affected this family. The way it's affected these kids, the way it's affected the parents, and it's the way it's affected their marriage. Money can be a great motivator, but it can also be a detriment. And I think that it proves to be both, or the lack of. And we're seeing how I think that Charles, his ego has been punctured. He feels that his manhood is being threatened. He's being, in a sense, emasculated. And so I think he's, looking for some salvation, but he's also looking for agency. And if you can't receive or keep agency in your home, one maybe might have to become a traveler.
Mm-hmm. And with Michole, I think with your characters, she's conflicted with trying to be the one and all savior of this family and keeping the peace, but then it takes its toll. Or am I reading too much into it?
Who I missed the beginning. Who's trying to keep the peace?
Your character.
Oh.
She's doing a lot to keep the peace and make sure that the family's whole, but then at some point it takes its toll. Or am I reading too much into it?
No, you are not reading too much into it at all. I think that's true. And I think that the first season, Lucille is, she's really trying to hold things down, and she's the quiet storm that leads from behind, and she will do anything for her family, but starts to realize in season 2 that she needs to learn to do more for herself and to honor herself, because sometimes it doesn't always feel like the same respect that is given comes back all the time.
And then, obviously with this particular season, it has to be layered out, because we know hopefully we have more seasons to come, and we know what develops down the road. How are you working with the directors and screenwriters in terms of how to pace out, what's going on with the family is what we see? How does that work out with you guys, especially when you're playing real life characters? Russell?
I'm that, we take our marching orders like everybody else. You know what I mean? We're not really. I think what we deal with, first of all, is what comes to us on the page. And we don't necessarily have much say in what gets put on the page per se, but we talk about how to create levels of nuance, create some deeper meaning and understanding once we have the page. But I think that's our job. I think we take what we're given, we take the words that are given, and we try to add deeper meaning and deeper resonance to them.
When you're working on the show like this, and obviously you guys have worked on different projects and films over the years, but actors can never stop learning. What have you learned so far being on the show, now that you're playing this character that people are now recognizing, different audiences are recognizing you for? What are you still learning as you shoot episode per episode? Michole?
One, I've learned so much about Lucille, and playing this role has also helped me to understand my mom better, and some of the struggles that she went through as a woman during this period, and how a woman in a lot of ways was more submissive during that time, and was a little dismissed at times. And I really didn't fully understand that about my mom. And so anyway, I'm learning things like that, stepping into these shoes. That's probably one of the biggest things, and learning more about film and television, and learning how to be more of a support and lift up my sons. And being a part of their journey it's just really interesting to see through their eyes. And I know Russell was saying earlier of how, watching them grow from season to season and the difference. And it's amazing, like watching little Meech from season 1 to season 2 is like, because this was his very first acting job. And anyway, and now he's just a totally different person than he was the first day that I worked with him. Anyway, that's been wonderful to be a part of the process in that way.
Is it a different atmosphere knowing once you got greenlit for season 2 and you started shooting that, as you mentioned, for some of these actors where it was new for them, not just being on screen, but acting and then learning to get the feel of it episode after episode, is it a different feeling when you're now back on set? And for those who are regulars, okay, we can settle it. Sometimes with the first season of any show, it's all about introducing characters and letting us, the audience, figure out who they are. Now that we see, we're going to watch, obviously, the evolutions to how they became where they are now. Is it a different feeling when you're on the set that although the directors and screenwriters may be different, the cast, at least for a majority of you, is the same? So is there a different feeling when you're on the set now? Russell?
Not necessarily. I'll be honest with you. I felt that my job as one of the elder statespeople on the show was to make sure that everybody else is comfortable. I have so much experience being on television, doing series and network TV and whatnot that nothing surprises me anymore. Do you know what I mean? And so I felt like it was incumbent upon me to put the others first, to make sure everybody feels comfortable, to make sure everybody has, gets what they need. And I can be an advocate for them if they weren't getting what they needed. You know what I mean? And so it nothing ever really changed for me, from season to season. It's more of just making sure that that the cast and the crew, sort of making sure that they have agency, that they get what they need, and that they feel comfortable, because this is a huge undertaking. There is a lot time. There was a time crunch. We had to, condense a lot of the episodes, and we're shooting. There was a time when we shot 3 episodes at the same time, and that's a lot of people. For a lot of young people, that's a lot to grasp. And you got to make sure that, hey, I know this is rough. I know this is hard for you, but we'll all get through this. And just take a deep breath, and we'll make it work. And either way, you're gonna be okay.
And Michole, obviously, how's it going when you're working opposite Snoop Dogg?
Oh man, I don't know why my phone just cut out for a second. I would like to answer that, and then I wanted to piggyback on something that Russell was saying too. Like the first season too, for me, like the first season sometimes of any show, because it's brand new, particularly the pilot episodes, there's a little more fear sometimes, because you just never know. It's like you're trying to make this show happen. You don't know if it's going to happen. It's like who stays, who goes. Are you doing the right thing that fits into everything that's working? And sometimes you can be afraid for your job in certain ways. So it's like just, trying to make sure you do all the right things, or just lay back in the cut a little bit, to be cool with whatever's happening. So there was some of that for me, some in the first season, and then coming into the second season, there's a little bit more of a comfortability there, because you back. It's like, you know what I mean? It's like, okay, woo side. Okay, I'm still here, kind of, and okay, that's cool. So there's that. As far as Snoop Dogg is concerned, I freaking love Snoop. And it's so fun to work with him. He's so funny and so gracious and so comfortable in his skin. And there's but also there's just like this sincerity that he just is who he is, and there's a humility about him that I really respect and appreciate. And he didn't come in like, you know, I'm Snoop Dogg, so I get to take over everything because my name is this or and all these things. No, he came in humbly and really wanting to do the work. And though he's, you know, primarily a rapper, he really wanted to do the work well and really be tap into really being a pastor and what it takes to really be that. And I really have so much respect for him with that. So it was really such a pleasure and a joy to work with him and so exciting. So super fun. And I really hope to do more of that with him.
Well, congrats on coming back, season 2. I'm sure we're going to talk again, season 3. You know, you guys ain't going out nowhere no time soon. So keep it going. You know, it's always good to see you guys. And let's make it happen.
Thanks, brother. Have a good one, man.
All right.